right, Reds, welcome back. What an absolutely electric day to be a Manchester United supporter. If you've been following this club through the dark days, the disappointments, the early exits, and the endless rebuilding phases, then today belongs to every single one of us. Make sure you stay connected, hit that follow button, and never miss a single update, because trust me, the way this club is moving right now, you do not want to be left behind. Now, let's dive straight into it, because we have got an absolute mountain of brilliance to unpack. Let's set the scene. Manchester United versus Liverpool. Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams. A stadium that has witnessed some of the greatest moments in football history. And on this glorious day, it added yet another chapter to that legendary book. A pulsating, nerve-shredding, soul-stirring 3-2 victory over the old enemy from Merseyside. Not just any victory, but the victory that officially, mathematically, undeniably confirmed that Manchester United Football Club will be returning to the UEFA Champions League next season. Where they belong, where they have always belonged. Can you even imagine waking up this morning not knowing what the day would bring, and going to bed tonight knowing that United are back on Europe's grandest stage? That is the beauty of this football club. No matter how low the lows get, the highs, when they come, they absolutely take your breath away. But let's be clear about something. This wasn't a smash and grab. This wasn't a lucky bounce or a questionable penalty. This was Manchester United, under pressure, against their fiercest rivals, in front of their own fans, digging deep into the very soul of this football club and producing something truly special. 3 goals, 3 moments of pure, cold-blooded quality, and a defensive resilience that, if we're being honest, we haven't always been able to count on in recent seasons. So, what happened? How did it unfold? And, more importantly, what does it all mean for the future of this great club? Buckle up, Reds, because we are just getting started. A 3-2 win over Liverpool is never just a result. It is a statement. It is a declaration. It is Manchester United standing in the middle of Old Trafford and saying to the entire footballing world, we are back and we mean business. Every goal, every tackle, every clearance off the line, every moment of quality in front of goal told a story about a team that is no longer willing to accept mediocrity, a team that no longer rolls over when the big occasions arrive, a team that, for the first time in what feels like a very long time, genuinely looks like it believes in itself. And the Champions League qualification? Let that sink in for a moment. The anthem, the lights, the European nights under the Old Trafford floodlights, the away trips to the great stadiums of the continent. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, United back on the same stage, competing at the very highest level. That is not just a sporting achievement. For this fan base, after everything we have been through, it is an emotional release. It is validation. It is proof that the hard work, the patience, and the faith have not been in vain. Now, ask yourself this: when was the last time a Manchester United victory felt this significant, this loaded with meaning? Because this wasn't just 3 points. This was a turning point. And the legends of this club, the men who wore that shirt with distinction, who understand what it means to represent Manchester United at the very highest level, they felt it too. And they were not shy about saying so, and everything. Now, when Roykean speaks about Manchester United, you listen. You don't half listen. You don't scroll through your phone. You put everything down and you listen. Because this is a man who bled for this football club. A man who dragged teams over the line through sheer force of will. A man whose standards were so impossibly high that even his own teammates feared falling short of them. So when Roykean says something was one of the best decisions the club has made in recent years, you better believe that carries enormous weight. And then there was that glorious line about Bruno Fernandes. Keane suggested that if Bruno had players of this quality around him from the beginning, he would have broken the assist record years ago. Think about that for a second. Bruno Fernandes, one of the most creative, most driven, most relentlessly brilliant players to pull on a United shirt in recent memory, apparently has been operating without the right ammunition. And now he has Cunha and Sesko as his weapons. God help the Premier League. But here is a question worth asking. Do you think Keane's endorsement of these transfer decisions reflects a broader shift in how United are identifying and recruiting players? Is this a new recruitment philosophy? Because if so, it looks like an absolutely terrific one. If Keane gave us the tactical and personnel verdict, then Rio Ferdinand gave us the emotional one. And Rio, as always, put it in a way that every single United supporter felt deep in their chest. Rio wasn't just talking about a football match, he was talking about the soul of Manchester United. He was talking about something that has been missing, the character, the fight, the refusal to lie down when things get difficult. And didn't we all feel it? Haven't we all sat there in big games, against Liverpool, against City, against Arsenal, and felt that horrible, sinking feeling that United just weren't going to turn up? That when the moment demanded greatness, the team would shrink. Rio acknowledged it. He put it right out there. For years we've been asking, where is the fight in these big games? And you know what? He's absolutely right. For years that question had no satisfying answer. But today the answer was written in 3 goals and a Champions League place. Today, United didn't fold. Today, when Liverpool came back to make it 2-2, United didn't crumble. They responded, they pushed forward, they found a way. And Rio made a point that deserves to be celebrated. When United went forward, they looked like they believed they were going to score. That confidence, that swagger, that sharpness in the final third, it has been missing for far too long, and on this day it was back in all its glory. Here is my take, and I genuinely believe this. You can have the best tactics in the world, the best players money can buy, the most sophisticated training methods and data analytics, but if your players don't believe they can win, then none of it matters. What Rio saw today was belief. Real, genuine, unshakable belief. And that is worth more than any transfer fee. Paul Scholes doesn't do hyperbole. He doesn't get carried away. He doesn't shower praise on anyone unless it has been well and truly earned through sustained performance and genuine quality. So when Scholesy, the man who was arguably the greatest midfielder of his generation, the heartbeat of some of United's finest ever teams, sits down and delivers that kind of assessment of Michael Carrick, you know, something very real is happening at this football club. Scholes made a point that I think often gets lost in the noise of matchday emotion. He reminded everyone that what we are seeing from this Manchester United team is no accident. This is not a happy coincidence. This is not a purple patch that will evaporate once the opposition works. Carrick out. This is the product of a manager who has gone head-to-head with Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, and Arne Slot, 3 of the most brilliant tactical minds in world football, and come out on top against all of them. Let that register for a moment. This is not some journeyman finding form against mid-table opposition. This is a manager beating the very best in the business. My honest opinion? Scholes has watched more football than almost anyone alive. He has seen managers come and go at Old Trafford. He has seen the great ones and the disappointing ones. He has been around this club long enough to know the difference between a genuine article and a false dawn. And he is saying, clearly without hesitation, that Carrick is the right man at this moment. That is not something Paul Scholes says lightly, not even slightly. Here is what we know. Carrick came in and transformed the atmosphere around this football club. He beat the best managers in the league. He qualified United for the Champions League. He gave the supporters their pride back. He made the players believe. He rebuilt the mentality. He reconnected the team to the values that made Manchester United great in the first place: intensity, belief, fight, and quality on the counter. The Champions League awaits. European nights are coming back to Old Trafford. The anthem, the atmosphere, the continent's finest clubs. All of it is on the horizon. And with Cunha and Sesko leading the line, Bruno Fernandes creating, Carrick organising and inspiring from the dugout, and an entire fanbase that has rediscovered its voice and its belief. Who knows how far this team can go? Stay locked in, Reds. Subscribe, follow, and never miss an update. Because if today is any indication of where this club is headed, then the best days of Manchester United Football Club may very well be right around the corner.